You're listening to Alore Radio, Ibadan, Nigeria.
Exclusive at MikeBase.com.
I don't want no more pain. I don't want no more drama. I don't want cry no more. I don't want fall no more. I'm still standing my ground. But all these bumps around me. I don't want cry no more. I don't want fall no more. And me and you, we got history. When I'm gone, you gon' miss me. I've been down for a long, long time. I can't take it on no more time. Only thinking about victory. Can't fuck with anything that's contradictory. Boy, chick never satisfied. What is dead may never die. On top of my case, they carry antenna. They tie Ikele, they tie Pantana. They wanna lock me up, turn me to Mandela. But I guess if I got it in my mind, and I know when I go, give me the strength to conquer my foes. Give me the strength to stand on my toes. Cause I know if you do, I'm on my own. Me and you, we got history. When I'm gone, you gon' miss me. I've been down for a long, long time. I can't take it on no more time. Only thinking about victory. Can't fuck with anything that's contradictory. Boy, chick never satisfied. What is dead may never die. I'm auto when I'm driving. All the potholes and it's swerving. Don't stress me on my G. I'm flexing as you see. If you wanna do, I got my test. All this fake love, you did it. Don't love me, let me be. Tryna break me, I'm a beast. Yeah. Me and you, we got history. When I'm gone, you gon' miss me. I've been down for a long, long time. And I know if you take I'm one more time. Only thinking about victory. Can't fuck with anything that's contradictory.
Exclusive at MikeBase.com.
What is dead may never die. Ain't nobody fit to stop my shine. I know if you die cause it's not my time. Man, I'm on my grind. And I only money take my mind. Say now only money take my mind. Oh. See, I don't care about no enemies. They envy me, they tryna get to me. But now only money take my mind. They my only money take my mind. Oh, and me and you, we got history. When I'm gone, you gon' miss me. I've been down for a long, long time. I can't take it on no more time. Only thinking about victory. Can't fuck with anything that's contradictory. Boy, chick never satisfied. What is dead may never die.
Extraordinaire.
You're listening to Alore Radio, Ibadan, Nigeria.
I just got here and I think I'm losing signal already. Hello?
Send a million miles. Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home. Hello from the outside. At least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore. Hello, how are you? It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I'm sorry. I hope that you're well. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So hello from the other side. I must
afternoon, everyone, and this is Moments with T. And you know, when you hear this voice, is your favorite girl Omomi Emmanuel. And this is Alore Radio, transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat at Agodi, Ibadan. And you know, when you hear this voice, is your favorite girl Omomi Emmanuel. See, today's episode is going to be different, unique, because I have a guest. And you do not want to even know what we're bringing to the table. But before I go on, please share with everybody. Follow us on all our social media platforms on Alore Radio. Share with your friends, your enemy, your loved ones, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, everyone you can share with, because someone somewhere might need this and it will be of good help to the person. But before I bring the person up to sit and have a proper conversation and tell us everything we need to know, I wanted to take a quick guess on who or what we'll be talking about today, and it is copyright. Like, I'm sure you are wondering, where is that coming from? Yes, copyright. A lot of people are victim of not even doing the right thing. Like, on social media is rampant, or you copied my lyrics, you copied my book, you copied this, you copied that, and you don't even know the rights you have if you are the originator of what you own. So today she's going to be giving us everything from A to Z that we need to know about this. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll be bringing in my guest, Mrs. Bisi Ogundiran. So here she is, Mrs. Bisi Ogundiran, and she is the state coordinator of Oyo State Nigerian Copyright Commission. See, she's a beautiful mother of two handsome boys, and she'll be telling us everything we need to know. You guys should just sit back, relax, and go on this journey with me. Thank you. Please, Ma, introduce yourself. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Maybe I should, the first thing I need to do is to commend the efforts of the Honorable, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde, for putting up this wonderful and beautiful studio. It's the first of its kind, and we're pleased to be here. And we know this station will go from great to greater heights in the name of Jesus. Amen. I am Olabisi Ogundiran by name. I'm the state coordinator of the Nigerian Copyright Commission. Copyright has to do with everything on intellectual protection of intellectual property rights. My host has already said I'm a beautiful mother of two guys, and our base at the Nigerian Copyright Commission is here in Ibadan. Though from here in Ibadan, the Oyo State Office of the Nigerian Copyright Commission will oversee intellectual property activities in the 5 southwestern states of Nigeria, the states being Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti states.
Thank you very much, man, and you've heard that. So please sit back while we go on this journey, and please keep reposting. Someone somehow might need this, and you need to be of help to that person. Matt, the first question I'll be asking you is, kindly explain to everyone listening what copyright is all about.
As the name implies, copy, right. That means literally the right to copy rightly. Let me put it that way. So what do you mean the right to copy rightly? That means if you have a work, and by a work I mean there's some 6 basic categories of works that are automatically protected under copyright in Nigeria. These basic categories are literary works, which covers books, everything printed. We have artistic works, we have musical works, we have broadcasts, sound recordings, and cinematograph films. These are the 6 basic wide categories of works. Under these wide categories, we have other underneath, but then these are the 6 basic categories of works that are protected by copyright under the law in Nigeria and internationally. For example, that we are in this beautiful studio, this will fall under a broadcast. So that means everything we are doing here today, you are the host, the questions, the way the program runs is your idea. That means you have a right. You protect. There's a protection for what you are doing as the host or the anchor of this particular program. And what is the basic essence of copyright? The basic essence of copyright is so that right owners, people like you, should be able to derive benefit from the exploitation of their works. What type of benefit? We have the economic benefit, we have the moral benefit. This is still word. Another person cannot anchor the same program and still say it is T's word. That means that is your moral right. That means this program, because the T is derived from your name. And so that means even if another person is coming to anchor this program, it will no longer be T's word. You understand? So it's your moral right. It is your name. Nobody can take it away from you. Even if the program is going to be taken away from you, the name cannot be taken away from you. It is your moral right. It's like if I write a book and you have on the book the title of the book and the name of the author. If the author is Olabisi Ogundiran, that means even if another person is going to write such books, another book, the person cannot put my name because it is my moral right. That particular work which I have written belongs to that particular name, and that name cannot be separated from the work. That is your moral right. Apart from that, you now have economic right. And the economic right is the right you need to benefit economically from the exploitation of your work. Let me go back to T's word. This is your program. It's online. People are hooking up and listening and watching depending on what. That means if anybody will now do anything on this particular program you are sending, you are uploading, then you, the station, and the stakeholders involved need to benefit economically. That means another person watching or cannot download elsewhere and then start rebroadcasting without your authorization or without the authorization of the producer of this program. So anything that you do without the authorization becomes an infringement. And so if you don't want to infringe, then you have to do accordingly with the program or with the particular work you are dealing with. If it's a book now, you do not have the right to reproduce, to photocopy, to distribute, to offer for sale, and other things without the authority of the owner of the work. So it is that authorization that will now bring you the economic benefit. So if I write a book, as I said before, and I want the book to be sold only to secondary schools in your state, that means from the sales of that book there's a percentage that will come back to me. So that is my economic benefit. And when that economic benefit is not there, that is why we have the problem of people not being impressed, people not having this urge to go on and do it. They say, the one that I've done, what have I benefited from it? So if you benefit from what you are doing, then the urge to go on, you'll be encouraged to do more. Those are the benefits that accrues to you as the author or right owner of a particular work. And that is what copyright protects. That is what copyright ensures that you have.
Thank you very much, Ma. Listeners at home, you've heard that. Like, she has said a lot. I know there are young authors, young musicians, young aspiring publishers and everything, and you want to know what this is all about. Stay tuned, because we are still going on a ride and we're still on this beautiful ride. I'll be right back. I think I need to give you a little advice. Get a pen and a book. Start writing down, because you might need this and you might not get this opportunity again. So keep writing down or save it, keep reposting so that it can be on your list. So the next question I'll be having for you, Ma, is what is the importance of registering a copyright? Like, what benefits? You said economic benefits and moral benefits, yes, but what is the most important thing of people or the audience listening of registering copyright?
The Nigerian Copyright Commission, we have a scheme, and the scheme is called a Copyright Notification Scheme. Let me say this, internationally, you don't need to register copyright before you own copyright in a work. What the law says is that automatically, upon creation of such work, the moment the work, can be categorized as belonging to one of the basic classes I listed initially. Copyright subsists automatically in the work, because copyright protection of intellectual property, that means something that you maybe think of, dreamt of, and that you have now reduced to a format by which another person can exploit it. Like if it's a movie or if it's a music now, most of our musicians, they will say it's an inspiration. They got it maybe while dreaming or while sleeping, or maybe incident that happened around them. But then after getting the idea is not protected. But now when you now have the idea, you have now reduced that idea maybe into, you have written it down, maybe you have recorded it maybe as a song, or you have put it in a format by which another person can exploit it. Automatically from that moment, copyright subsists on that work. That means that from that moment, anybody that you do not authorize cannot do anything otherwise with that particular work. So now, for protection, for registration, as I said, registration is not a prerequisite for copyright protection. But then, because of in our own client here, we believe that we need to hold something. We want to hold on to something so that we show that I own, or that particular work belongs to me. So in that wise, the Copyright Commission will now have a scheme, and the scheme is called the Copyright Notification Scheme. Under that scheme, an author, it's an online scheme. We have gone digital. Everybody is going digital. Like this station now, we are digital. It's an online platform. So you can go online and you now register the work online. By that registration, you provide us all the details pertaining to the particular work. The type of work it is it a literary work, is it a musical work, is it a cinematograph work, is it a broadcast, you let us know the type of work it is. You let us know the name of the author. Is very important, because the work must be, linked to a particular person. Then you now let us know the format of that particular work. You now let us know there are questions which you have to fill in, which you give us the details of that particular work. And then you pay token to the federal government account, and then you list that a certificate should be issued to you in respect of that work. At the end of the processing, the certificate will be issued to the name as you have given on the work. So that is the registration. So what is the essence of this registration? The registration, number one, is to give us a database. So anywhere in the world, if anybody is looking for a particular anything, and maybe has to Google and bring them, that your particular work will come out with the name of the author as originating from Ibadan, Nigeria, and it has been registered under copyright. That means even that work has been, because it's an online thing, is exposed to users all over the world. And anybody that may be making use of such work all over the world can now, give reference, then link the work to the author, and from the exploitation, a percentage of usage, something like a benefit will come back to the original author of that work. That is the essence of this registration, so that the work can be linked, the author can be linked to the work, and then the work can be exploited. And then benefits can come to the author of the work.
Thank you very much, Ma. And you've heard that. Now, Ma, the question again is that, let's use musicians for example. Now, some of them do not write their songs. Okay. So, who owns the song?
There are different scenarios.
Okay. Some of them have songwriters.
Yes.
They write out their songs for them.
Yes.
So now the question is, who owns the work? Is it the musician?
Yes.
Or the songwriter?
That is why I said there are different scenarios.
Okay.
And that is why copyright says there has to be a contract, a written contract, between you and anybody that is dealing in your work. For example, now the example you just gave, a songwriter is writing a song for you. That means the original author of that song is the writer.
Okay.
Do you get it now? But then, being the writer, you may not be able to exploit it and make that song to turn into economic benefit unto you. That is why you have transferred your rights to Michael Jackson.
Okay.
For example, now,
Okay.
most songs by Michael Jackson were not written by him. They were songs written by other people, but performed by him. So under copyright, the person that wrote the song will be the first author of that song.
Okay.
Then Michael Jackson will not have a performance right.
Oh, okay.
There are different stages of rights. You understand? Even the person arranging will have a right. The producer will have a right. So a copyright is a bundle of rights. But that is why where I started from is the contract. It is the contract, the legal paper, that will now determine what rights belong to who, depending on what you are being able to do or what you are doing in respect of the particular work.
Wow. I'm sure as much as I'm learning a lot, you guys are also learning. Like, I'm learning so much that I'm wowed. So guys, stay tuned and we'll be right back.
You said could be your boss. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up, your name go up on boss. You said could be your boss.
Guys, and we've talked about so many things, and I'm sure one way or the other we've been learning a lot. And if you're not following us yet, you are making a mistake. So please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Allore Radio, and do well to like, share, copy. Just keep reposting till it gets to the right person. Like, I know there are young authors, there are young songwriters, there are young musicians, there are a lot of people that need this thing called copyright, and you need to learn from it. So our next question, Ma, and that question is, what type of governing structure does the commission have?
The Nigeria Copyright Commission is a federal government agency.
Okay.
It is backed by statute. The Copyright Act is in the laws of the Federation of Nigeria. It is cited as Copyright Act Cap C28, laws of the Federation of Nigeria. Being a federal government agency and backed by law, we have mandate, and the mandate is that anything intellectual property should be protected, should be administered, should be protected, and should be enforced within the territory of Nigeria that we cover. For Nigeria Copyright Commission, we have 14 offices nationwide. So that means in each zone, as I said initially, the Ibadan office covers 5 southwestern states. So we also have other offices that cover different zones outside the head office, which is in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. So these are and as head of each zone or state office, we have the state coordinator that oversees activities. Those are the apparatus put in place so that anywhere you are within the territory of Nigeria, your right is protected. You don't have to be in Lagos. You don't have to be in Abuja. You don't even have to be in the capital of the particular state where you are. But anywhere you are, your right is being covered, is being protected, and is being dealt with as if you are just there.
Thank you so much, Ma. Another question we'll be asking is, if I want to register my rights as the copyright owner, what do I do? What do I have to come to the office, or do I have to, there's a platform I can download just to go through the rights process and everything, just for me to at the end of the day have my certificates and have my rights to my particular work?
Yes. We are in the digital age.
Okay.
It is allowed, if you are so close to where any of the 14 offices is situated, you can go into the office. It is allowed. But then, as I said, anywhere you are, you don't have to travel far and wide before these things can be done. So you can access the Nigerian Copyright Commission office, any of the office closest to you, by going to the NCC platform. So if you Google Nigerian Copyright Commission, it will be good. But then for ease of reference, you can just www.nccnigeria.gov.ng. It will take you straight to NCC platform. Then for registration, you can now go to www.eregistration.copyright.gov.ng. It will take you straight direct to the registration platform. That is, if you are an author, maybe a book author, a songwriter, a musical author, a movie author, you can just go to www.eregistration.copyright.gov.ng. It will take you straight to the link. It will give you the link where you can register your work straight online.
Thank you very much. Another question is, as much as everybody is registering, and we know in this our social media world, we have issues of copyright. Like at the end of the day, when a musician produces a song or write a song out, or maybe an author, at the end of the day, you come out, another person will be like, I've written this song for the longest time, or I've written this book for the longest time. What at the end of the day, if prior to probably they have the problem and they need to settle it, what can they do, or how will they go about it to get a right solution?
The best way to go about it is to visit the nearest Nigerian Copyright Commission office too, wherever they are. And that is the essence of registration. If I may give this example, as we are seated together on this table, if we are told to write on a GSM online station, what you'll be writing will be different from what I'll be writing, even though we are seated side by side. So that means that, two people cannot lay claim to a specific work, word for word. No, it is not possible. Don't forget, we started from the point that copyright protects intellectual property, something of the mind, of the intellect. The way, even if we are writing on a common subject, common topic, you look at it from a different perspective, and I'll look at it from a different perspective. And what we are going to write will be based on the perspective at which we are assessing that particular topic. So, but for us now to write the same thing exactly, that means one person must have copied the other. So if copying is not involved, then it cannot be. Ordinarily, it cannot be. So, if there are disputes, and that is why you remember I mentioned it, that it is very, very germane that when you are inviting people maybe to take part in your movie, in your music production, in your broadcast production, there must be a written contract. It is the written contract that will explain the role
Of the person.
of each individual participator in the particular project. And it is based on this role and the contract that will explain that for participating or for doing this role, X amount will accrue to you or will be given to you, or it is for gratis, it is for free, it is allowed. You understand? But then there must be a written agreement that will explain all these little details. So when we have such an agreement, at the end of the day, ordinarily there shouldn't be dispute. But when now dispute comes, then the nearest copyright office will be able to wade in and be able to mediate and settle it technically and logically. Mind you, most things that we think are right are not right. That is why I use the word technically and logically. Because there are so I can say now, because you are my sister, I gave you my work and things like that, you think what belongs to me also belongs to you. We are sisters and I'm free, I should be able to do anything I like with your work. No, it is not allowed. If I have not given you express permission to do specific things on that particular work, and you have gone ahead to do it, you are infringing on my right.
Thank you so much. I'm still very wowed. That's the words to use. The question again is there like an age limit, or probably she's too young to register, or she's too small, or any age can register?
There is no age limit.
Okay.
See, we said copyright protects intellectual property. We have children that are so gifted, maybe as from the age of 3, 4, 5, they started writing stories, poems, and things like that. You cannot say because that child is 4, 5, 6 that the copyright does not belong to him or her. So far, he is the creator, the child is the creator, the originator of that poem, maybe of that story. That child has copyright. And that child can now say, Mom, because you are my mom, I want you to help me give this book or this poem to maybe a publisher to. That does not mean because you are the mom you can do. No, there still has to be a contract. Maybe you'll be acting as the agent, or because the child is underage, but then you have to be able to link that particular child with what he or she has created. That child remains the author. The contract, you cannot say because you are dealing in it on my behalf, I can transfer my right to you. You will become the copyright owner. But I see that child still retains authorship of that work, irrespective of the age. So there's no age limit, whether too young or too old. There's no age limit to copyright protection.
Thank you so much, ma. Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back.
Tenant wait on losing job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen. Amen. Good news go locate you. What you see in no go take.
Before we move further, is there anything you feel like we're missing out and you need to educate us on, and you can talk about it, man?
Let me talk on the issue of piracy. Piracy is the cankerworm. Piracy is the menace that eats into rights of producers, of right owners, of authors. And by piracy, what do we mean by piracy? Piracy is the illegal or unauthorized exploitation of a work for economic benefit. For example, now if I pick a book, maybe the book is in high demand, maybe I now reproduce the book, whether locally or I take it outside for reproduction and bring it back to the country. I now start selling the book so that I am not deriving economic benefit. I'm now getting money from the sales of that book, whereas the book does not belong to me. Maybe the book belongs to GSM Radio. Maybe the book is on guidelines or how to maybe anchor a program, how to produce a program, and you think it's good, but I think people are in need of it. I now pick it up, I now reproduce it without your consent, and now start selling to other radio outfits and so on. I have infringed on your right, and that is piracy. The Nigerian government, through the Nigerian Copyright Commission, we are against piracy. We know and we think and we are propagating that the owner of a work should be the one to benefit from the exploitation of that work. So when unauthorized people are now benefiting, maybe reproducing and selling of such works illegally, maybe distributing it illegally, maybe transmitting it illegally, then it has become piracy. For example, now your program, though every law has an exemption, and the exception is I can use it for personal use, I can use it for news, it is not an infringement. I can use it for educational purposes. That means just teaching aid, not selling as maybe textbooks or handouts to students. I need to clarify that. Those are the exceptions. But when you are now making use of a work beyond the exceptions permitted and allowed under the law, then you are infringing on the right, and it is now turning to piracy when you start deriving funds from the exploitation. For example, now if somebody is now rebroadcasting this your program and telling people, if I send it to you, you give me like 1,000 naira, I know this is very important, maybe I know you need it, so don't worry, I will just send it to you, you credit my account with 1,000 naira, the person is infringing on your right. It has turned to piracy because the person can watch and listen for personal home consumption, but then the person cannot redistribute without your authorization or consent.
Thank you.
So piracy is evil, piracy is illegal, piracy is criminal, piracy is killing. A very good example of piracy and its ill effects is the issue of Baba Salam. because it was based here. The late Moses Olaiya Babasala, it was based in Ibadan. The man made serious, wonderful movies. You know, he took loans to make such movies, and the movies were, wow, international recognition. But then pirates now encroach on his rights, picked the movie, start duplicating, start reselling, you know, and before you know it, instead of going to the cinema to watch it, I already bought a copy, illegal copy. Before you know it, he was losing funds, and that was what made, at least it's nearly, I don't want to use the word killed, but you know, it ruined him.
Wow.
So piracy can ruin people's lives. Piracy is killing, piracy is criminal, piracy is illegal, piracy is everything bad you can think of. And we are using this opportunity, this medium, to say, run away from piracy. Don't patronize pirated works. Don't be part of producing pirated works. You know, when you see pirated, at least there's a slogan in your saying, and when you see something, you say something. When you see where pirated works are being distributed or being made, you need to get in touch with the appropriate office, which is the Nigerian Copyright Commission, and will take the necessary step.
Thank you very much. When we talk about this piracy, it interests me to know that people have gone through it. Like a lot of people, apart from the story of Babasala, like we know in our world today, when you go to, let's say, Oshodi Market or wherever, you find them selling all these movies on the floor for 100 naira, and they've done so much. They've worked hard with so much money. Just like she said they've collected loans, and they need to make this money back. Just because of your own selfish interest, you decide to do piracy. Please, let's stay away from piracy. But before I ask my question, this piracy, what action can we take on those that go through this process of piracy? Let's imagine we get someone arrested. What do we do? Is there like there's a constitutional law for piracy, or there's somewhere, or maybe life imprisonment, like somebody's added money for somebody to go and die? So you know, it's very important we know what we can do, so that when someone goes through that kind of situation, they know what to do immediately.
Under the law,
Okay.
there are two ways in which you can approach or fight piracy. Civil aspect. That means you, as the author or the copyright owner of the work, you can obtain a warrant of the court, by which, with a police officer not lower than an ASP, you can conduct search and arrest the pirate. Then they are not, the other aspect also permitted under the law is the criminal. That means you make a complaint to the Nigerian Copyright Commission, and then the Nigerian Copyright Commission will now, you know, on your behalf, you know, do the necessary things of arresting, investigating, arresting, and prosecuting. Meanwhile, if you are prosecuting issues of intellectual property, you can only prosecute at the Federal High Court. The Federal High Court is the only court in Nigeria that has jurisdiction to hear and to entertain matters of copyright infringement. So it's either you do it yourself, but then you can't just go as me and say, I'm arresting you. No. The process I just, you go through the process, the court warrants, then the police officers, and then the search, and then the arrest. And then when you arrest under the civil procedure, you know, both the suspect and the exhibits recovered are taken to the court. With the Nigeria Copyright Commission, because we are inspectors, we are copyright inspectors, we don't need the warrant. We already carry a warrant. So on your behalf, we can investigate, we can arrest, we can prosecute, and then we have our own in-house lawyers. Like the in-house lawyer came with me for this program. So we have our own in-house lawyers that will now prosecute the matter on your behalf, and not on your behalf only, now on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will now be the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you know, now prosecuting your case on your behalf, you know, against the infringer, the suspect. So those are the two ways, the law permits.
So here we have it. You heard what she has to say about piracy, and it is important to say No to piracy. When you find them, you know, as the slogan is Sorosoke, like you have to speak up immediately, like ASAP, get the right authority, go to the nearest office and get through to them and let them take the proper right action for you, because you own that work, you've done so much for it, and no one has the right to take your work from you. We'll be right back. Before we go on, I'm sure we've learned one thing or the other, and we've been able to understand everything we need to know about copyright. I'm sure the mentality we have is, oh, does it function or does it work? Are they existing? I tell you, she's right here and she's telling us that they are functioning, they are existing. So do the right thing. Don't have the mentality of, oh, we're in Nigeria and nothing can work. They are functioning, and that is what Moments with T we do. We bring it to you live so that you can know that we are in a better place, and we understand that they will do everything they can to make the world a better place. The next question I'll be asking you is that, prior to the question I just said now, that is it functioning, how do you manage the structure, or how has it been able to function effectively so that they can have an idea that it is properly managed and properly function?
How do we manage the structure? I said it's a federal government agency, if I get you right.
Okay.
So we are funded and by the federal government.
Okay.
How do we manage this? We have synergy. We work hand in hand with some other federal government agencies, the police, the DSS, the Nigerian Civil Defense. We work hand in hand with them. You know, we synergize so that we can have a better result. The structure of protecting and administering copyright in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. For the administration of copyright, I've explained the process. For the enforcement of copyright, I've explained the process. Yes, I've explained the process. Then for another aspect of administering copyright is the issue of collective management of rights. As a song producer, there are organizations or committee of rights minds that have come together. Like now, you are a music owner. You cannot monitor the exploitation of your work by yourself, because when you don't know whether your music is being played in another station, even within Oyo State or outside Oyo State. And that is why we have this collective management organization. It's an organization of like minds in the same area of creative world, coming together for better management of their rights. They will have the process and the machinery to monitor the exploitation of works beyond you, the singular author of that work. And mind you, each exploitation will result into economic benefit for the owner. So the more you can manage, the more you can exploit, the more you can administer, then the more benefit, economic benefit that will be coming to you. Then another thing is that I already said we have offices across the nation, and these offices are equipped with professionals across the creative world. So with these professionals, when you lodge a complaint, we know, will you go for litigation or will you go for mediation? It depends on what is involved. Also, we have a perfect relationship with each stakeholder in the different fields that we manage. For example, in the field of literary, we have perfect relationship with publishers, with booksellers, with authors, with writers, with editors, with printers, and so on. In the area of film and cinematography, we have, all those other associations in that area. We work together with them so that we can better their lot. And that is why we are even here in the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism of your state today, so that we can partner with the ministry. We can partner with the Ministry of Information, Culture, Tourism, so that their stakeholders, the lot of their stakeholders will be better. So that the stakeholders, upon the exploitation of their works, they have better income. For example, now, the Oyo State will be having this Ashoke Day in Iseyin on Thursday. Ashofi Day in Iseyin on Thursday. It's a program that should showcase the rich culture of Oyo State. It's a program that will showcase, don't mind you, Ashofi is a local made by our local weavers. Intellectualism must have come into play for me to think, okay, if I mix this color with this color, it will give me this. If I mix this pattern along with this pattern, it will give me this, and it will look like. So for us now to showcase it, that means we have to encourage those original local weavers. It is the intellectual property. Another person cannot pick it and just say, let me take it to China, let me make this design. No, it is not done. You'll be infringing on the right of the local weaver. So by having this Ashoke Day, the showcase of, it's a Ashofi Day. It's a means of, showcasing intellectual property owners in that field. Is a means of showcasing the rich cultural heritage of Oyo State. Is a means of showcasing, the tourism aspect of Oyo State. Is a means of showcasing, the beautiful things you can get by, coming for that occasion. And that is why the Nigerian Corporate Commission is going to be part of it, so that all these people on the ladder of producing the Ashofi or Ashoke, whichever one you call it, so that they can benefit from the exploitation of their work.
Wow, thank you very much. Wow, thank you very much, and we've had an interesting journey with you. The last question that will run this off will be, who are your prospective clients or customers?
Anybody that is an author is our prospective client or customer. Anybody that can be categorized as an author, whether book author, whether anybody that is a creative author or creative owner, is our client, is our friend. Not even a client, has a right, has a stake in protection of intellectual property. Maybe let me just add that, that is why in the Nigerian Corporate Commission we have an enforcement department. They are charged with enforcing. They are like the soldiers, the police of the creative world. They go around town, they do that. We have the prosecution arm. Like I said the other time, I have my prosecutor here. They go to court and prosecute on your behalf. Then we also monitor. We go around town, we monitor, and another thing, and that is why we're on this T's word, sensitization, creation of awareness, letting people know what they do not know, or correcting impression of what they think they know but is not correct. You understand? We try to propagate, we try to expatiate every single thing you need to know on copyright protection, so that you will not be innocently infringing on the rights of other people. Meanwhile, don't mind you, I already said that infringement or piracy is criminal. It can be taken to court, and when you get to court, the court has, it's either you are given a fine, and the court will determine what the fine will be, or imprisonment. So it's a very serious matter. And there are times the judge will look at you and say, I'm giving both fine, imprisonment. It is allowed under the law. So it is not something, infringement of piracy is not something to be toyed with. It is not child's play at all. And that is why we are using this medium again to say, run away from piracy. Do not infringe on other people's rights. Do not copy other people's work illegally. Do not retransmit another person's broadcast without authorization. Do not reproduce another person's song for commercial purposes without consent or authorization of the owner. All this do not. Let us run away from it, because at the end of the day, if charged to court, it can either be fined, it depends on the court, or jail term, or both. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. On behalf of the radio station, we say thank you so much. Any other thing we want to add before we end the program?
Let me end with where I started from. It's a beautiful station, and I think the sky is the limit. I wish you the very best. And as you are doing this, even the music you are using, it's part of copyright.
Yes.
Credit has to be given. Like if you are playing my song now and you are just playing it without mentioning my name, you are infringing on my moral rights. You have to say this song is T's song titled XYZ. That is the moral credit you are giving to the person. I know that this station is like the first in the nation, an online state radio station like that. It's Oyo State is one of the first, has recorded another first, and we are happy to be associated with it. And then we'll use this platform also to say copyright. Let us respect copyright. Let us protect copyright. Let us do not make yourself to be used to infringe on the copyright of another person. It is criminal, and the law frowns at it. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Like, we've had an interesting journey, and you've learned one or two things. I'm sure you've learned one or two things about copyright. But before I go, I want to tell you that as much as you can, stay away from piracy and do the needful by getting your work or your music, whatever it is, registered. Is very, very important. And I still remain Omomi Emmanuel. Until I come your way next time, same radio station. Stay blessed. I love you all. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Go favor you, great men go honor you. Amen. Amen. One day you go sign the check, oh. You self go drive that Benz, oh. This life goes to make sense, oh. Amen. Your children go make you proud, oh. Bad people no go pull you down, oh. One day you go run this town, oh. Amen. Amen. You self go spray me money. Baby go call you and me. You self go host the party. Amen. Amen. Don't go to go be your friend. Until the law go be your friend. Until the God go be your guy. Amen. 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 Go be your guy. Until somebody go.
ọgbà tí àṣejìná lòdì ìrànjẹ làwọn aláṣejòkòtì tí wọ́n fẹ́ máa jẹ ọba ni wọ́n ó ṣe gàyà díẹ̀ ná ìlú ló láṣẹ ẹjẹ́ ìlú ó jẹun náà ìdí nìyí tó fi jẹ́ pé ẹ̀tọ́ ìlú là ń fowó ìlú ṣe nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ẹ̀rí bí ní ètò ẹ̀kọ́ wa ṣe ń jògèrè LAUTECH ti di tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé bíi 40 yóò ti wẹ̀wọ̀ ọ̀tun pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tòun tòògùn àti irinṣẹ́ tó pójú owó iṣẹ́ sì ti fẹ́ẹ̀ parí pẹ̀lú lórí 100 míì jákèjádò ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ààbò tó dájú ohun amáyédẹrùn ní ìṣokùnfà ìdásílẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá láwùjọ òun náà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fi wà nípò kẹta nínú àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ tí ń pawó wọlé jùlọ lábẹ́lé nílẹ̀ wa ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ ló ti láǹfààní ẹ̀kọ́ṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà ti gbàlódé táṣeyọrí yìí ó sì jẹ́ kó ń jẹ́ sùn wá bọ̀ láìpẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àtòṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ń gbowó wọn lásìkò pápá àṣírí Adámàsìngbà àtàwọn inú ojú pópó tí ń sòrú dọ̀sán kọ́ àwọn ìlú ti sọ pásì ìwádùn níṣèjọba yìí fi ń mọrírì gbogbo àwọn aláṣẹ gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ló ń sọ fún wa pé pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan wa oòrùn tó kù lókè yìí ó táṣọ ọgbẹ. iléeṣẹ́ ètò